Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while since my last video. Just been taking some time and working on stuff. Ain't really had time to make many videos lately, but I'm gonna show you some of the cars I got since my last video. Here's one of them. To the best of my knowledge, I think it's a 73, but I could be wrong. It sat in the woods for probably going on 10 years. I had to hack it out of the woods, and the guys completely let it go. They had trees growing through it. I had to get out there at night and hack it out of there. Guy didn't get home until about 7 or 8 o'clock, and that's really the only time I could have gone up there and saved it. It was actually in Colombia. They handmade a bunch of stuff on it, but one of the coolest features about this thing is its engine setup. I know it's covered up right now and I don't really want to uncover it, but it's got a hand-machined adapter plate that goes on the transaxle, and it bolts to it, and that's a pulley, and the pulley feeds up here to this engine, which is a 25 horsepower V-twin Kohler motor. Now the Kohler motor, I tried my best to get it to turn over and I couldn't. I may put some oil down in the plugs and see if it'll turn. But this project here is on the back burner. I don't know if I've updated you guys this far yet, because it's been a while since I've made my last video, but I'm no longer restoring my 68 panel bus, which is in the garage. I'm now restoring a 72 Baja Beetle that belonged to my friend Andy, that he had gotten 2 months before he passed away. And that car sat for 2 or 3 years catching hell behind some guy's house. I think it was a body shop guy's house or something. They had used the front clip off of it to fix his car, Andy's car, his restored black one that you've seen in the field racing videos. And I'll show it to you. It's covered up right now under a tarp, but that's it. It's rust free, amazingly, but the front clip is completely gone off of it. After I get the Baja done, this will be the next thing. I'm mainly going to build this thing on the sole purpose of flipping it. Not rolling it or anything, but actually fixing it up to sell. I'm kind of deciding whether to rebuild this Kohler motor or to build a Volkswagen engine for it. It would be a lot more badass to build this V-twin, but it would be a lot more expensive. Again, the motor, I couldn't get it to turn over. And the interesting thing about this motor is that it's got crankshaft coming out this end, and it's also coming out the back. I've seen a few motors like that before, but they're very hard to find. Ones like this, brand new from Northern Tool, are $1,600, I think. And it would only cost me maybe $700–800 to build a Volkswagen engine with the parts I've got laying around. But it wouldn't be nearly as cool, because I don't think anybody's ever seen one like that. Again, this was done a long time ago, probably going on 20 years maybe. But Yeah, it's got a Volkswagen transmission, and it's missing a few things. It's missing the dash. It's missing all of that. It's got a steering wheel though, luckily, and it's got seats. And it does have an aftermarket MP shifter, but it's really weather worn. Chrome is really starting to pit on it. I don't know if it's still usable or not. I hadn't looked into it. Needs brake lines, a master cylinder, all that good stuff. Right here where I got it taped, there's cuts in the frame itself to where they had to bend it to put it onto this beam. Again, I think it's a 73. I'm not sure, but it's mainly going to be built as an off-road vehicle, but I'm thinking about putting it on the road, which would be really neat with the V-twin, because with the V-twin it would probably get 60 miles to the gallon, around that. Put at least a 5-gallon tank right there. That would be great. I have all the parts to build a 1641, more than likely single port, but I'd much rather build the V-twin, but it'd be more expensive and it'd be less power too. This interesting piece here, they added a pipe in here, and then looks like they welded it to this here, but they cut the floor right here and sunk the floor underneath this and stacked this on top. Now I was thinking about adding a piece in here sideways like this and just welding it in there like that, or I could just put a different floor in it, because when I tried getting in it and setting everything up, the floor seemed like it was a little bit too high, but I don't know, I'll figure all that out when the time comes. But anyways, I need an opinion. Should I leave it looking like this and just get it running and driving and call it the Sand Rat, or do I sand it all the way down and paint it? And if so, what color? I had orange and black in mind. Orange or black, not both. But. And should I rebuild that V-twin? It's only 25 horsepower, but it's still, hadn't seen another one out there like that, especially with that custom machined adapter plate. Yeah, this whole thing was sitting in the woods, just left to die, just like the 72. Left to die. And the 72 is a rust-free car. I'll do another video on that at another time when I start on the body. The chassis is almost done, but the this sandrail here, it's just getting new brakes and lines and master cylinder, and got to make a dash for it, things like that. But yeah, let me know what direction I should go with this when the time comes. And here's this one. You may not have seen this one while it was on its chassis. This thing had some really interesting wheels on it that I have never seen before. I looked them up the best I could, and they almost look like center lines, but they're not. They don't have the little billet things made into the rims. They actually look like smoothies, but American Racing smoothies maybe? I don't know. I'll include some pictures of it back when it was on the chassis. I tore the front beam off of this and put it on the 72. The 72 chassis right now is off at Low Country Air Cooled, getting redone, putting all new parts on it. I ain't got the time or the means to do it. This one, the only reason I got this one, this is a 70 by the way, the only reason I got this one is for the front clip. Has a really decent front clip. Never been wrecked in the front. This section here forward needs to be cut, and the fiberglass piece needs to be put in here. But yeah, steering column bent when I removed the body by myself. Nobody wanted to help me, so I did it all by myself. This car, I think, the rumor about it was in Hot VW magazine in '86, but I haven't confirmed it yet. From what I was told, it used to have a whale tail on the back and pinstriping. You can see the pinstriping on the deck lid over there and here. It goes all the way to the front. But here's why this car was not going to be redone. It's worse than it looks on camera. The Bondo is super thick. Heater channels, bad. Floor back here is gone. Heater channels on both sides are shot. Milo just loves getting in and all my cars. He checks out every single one I bring home. Right now I'm looking for somebody that can help me do the front clip, to take the front clip off of that one and put it on this one and fit all the fiberglass pieces. I'm looking for somebody that can do that. If there's anybody within a couple hundred miles of South Carolina that can do that, I would certainly look into getting you to help me do this. I'd surely appreciate it. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you can or can't. I need the rear clip cut even with the fenders. I do not want the gap that I've seen in some, like in here, between the spacings of the fenders and the spoiler. I'm pretty OCD about that. I can't have that. The front needs to be trimmed a little bit, and then the front clip off of that put on, and then that clip needs to be trimmed back for the front apron. And basically all the fiberglass pieces fit. So, oh, here's the pinstriping that I was mentioning earlier. I don't know, this car did have a whale tail on it, and it was rumored to be in Hot VW magazine in '86, but haven't confirmed it. Yeah, this was going to be like a Class 11 car build at some point, but it never happened. It's been sitting since the late 80s. Late 80s, early 90s, and it's developed some serious rust. It would need a whole quarter on that side, package tray area, heater channels, you name it. So this is basically a parts car now. This bus here is well worth building, so if anybody wants these buses, let me know. That's about it for this video, so let me know if you guys are interested in these buses. I may consider selling them. Again, hit me up in the comments with any questions you may have. Later, tubers.